Hey Denver 7 community, my name is Ashton August. I'm the founder of YogiApproved.com and YA classes, and I'm also a yoga instructor here in Denver. I'm so excited to bring you another yoga class. This one is Sun Salutations for beginners. It's a great way for you to learn Surya Namaskar, or the Sun Salutations that you'll typically see in a vinyasa style yoga class. And this is a great way to help you gain a sense of presence, mindfulness, and calm both mind and body, which can be especially helpful during these uncertain times. I hope you enjoyed this class. I'll see you on your mat, and thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Sun salutations have been traditionally practiced for thousands of years to usher in the new day, hence the name Sun Salutations. In Sanskrit, that is translated to Surya Namaskar, and there are two main forms of Sun Salutations, Surya Namaskara A and Surya Namaskara B. Today we will be practicing Surya Namaskar A, which is the simpler and more beginner version of the two Sun Salutations. Sun salutations in general are wonderful to practice any time of day, and they're a great way to start off your time on your mat because they help to warm up the full body, they increase your strength and endurance overall, they also help to improve your flexibility as well as your coordination, both in the sense of that mind-body coordination as well as linking breath with motion, which is a key part of this practice that we'll get into a little bit more. Finally, Sun salutations are also excellent for your mental focus and clarity, so again, making it a great way to start your day or time on the mat. There are several key poses within a Sun salutation. So as you're ready, we're gonna meet at the top of our mats and we're gonna break down each pose individually before linking it all together. Let's do it. Now, when you do your Sun salutations, you want to come to the front of your mat and bring your feet hip-width distance apart to start. Now, this is called mountain pose or standing Tadasana. You can practice this posture with your feet directly beneath your hips or with your feet touching big toes together, heels slightly apart. Explore either option and decide what feels best for you. I'm going to go back to my original stance of feet hip-width distance apart. Now, either way from there, what we'll do is roll the shoulders back and down and shine your palms actively forward. The weight is pressing down through my heels. I have a very gentle tuck of my tailbone and I am lengthening up through the crown of my head as I continue pulling my shoulders down and away from my ears. Moral of the story, this is an active posture, even though from the outside it looks like we're just standing here. So take a moment to feel the difference between just passively standing and activating your mountain pose. You'll see that my kneecaps are lifted and everything is strong and engaged. This is the beginning of our Sun salutation. Now from here, our next pose is an upward salute or Urdhva Hastasana, and that is simply bringing our arms up overhead. Now I'll turn to face the camera so you can see. What we want to avoid is hunching shoulders up by your ears. Instead, pull your shoulders back into the socket and then gently spiral your pinkies forward. This will keep your arms active and engaged. Good. So take a moment here, feeling your power, feeling the energy flow from the fingertips down through the heels. Good. Now our next pose is a forward fold. You'll see people entering it in two ways from here. You can either guide your hands through heart center and hinge at the hips, or to show you the other option, you can swan dive, which simply means bringing arms out to the side as you hinge from the hips. Now once you enter into this fold, be gentle here. For many of us with tight hamstrings, we want to bring a slight bend into the knees to take the pressure off. Now another thing I often see as a yoga teacher is people wanting to look forward, but this is straining into the neck. So instead, feel as if the crown of your head is magnetized towards the mat and simply let it hang nice and heavy. In fact, to aid in this process, you can shake your head no and yes, and just take a nice deep breath in and out. Good. Our next posture from here is a halfway lift. So a forward fold is Uttanasana. A halfway lift is Ardha Uttanasana. So from there, we'll bring our hands to either our shins or our thighs, depending on the length of our legs. And what you want to do is press the palms actively into the legs in order to get that nice extension through your spine. You'll see that my gaze is straight down. So for me, that's just beyond the front of my mat, and my neck is nice and long here. Take a deep inhale, and then we'll fold once more. This is our entry point now for stepping back into plank pose, which is also the top of a push-up. So from here, bend your knees, planting your palms, and we'll gently step our left foot back, followed by our right foot, coming into plank pose or high plank. So from here, we're gonna start with the hands and work our way down the body for alignment. You wanna spread your fingers nice and wide and press each individual fingertip into the mat. This will protect your wrists. What I often see is dead hands. So notice how there's no energy in my hands, there's really no foundation here. So instead, activate those hands, press them down, feel the center of your palm lift, that's how much you're pressing. Good, now from here, we wanna really spiral our biceps gently forward. So you'll see that the eye of my elbow is actually starting to turn more towards the front of the mat. Now my gaze is directly down. What I often see students doing is looking up. See how that wrenches my neck. So please don't do that, and instead, just keep your gaze straight down. Now moving on down the body, we're gonna focus on the core now. You want to engage your core as much as you can, and notice how when I engage my core, I fill into my lower back. And in fact, you want to lift your hips pretty high here. That's a common misconception with plank, is oftentimes people think that we want to have our hips lower than the shoulders. But what happens here is I feel a lot of pressure and tension in my lower back. And then from here, it's easy to dip all the way down, and that's dangerous. So instead, engage the core, lift those hips, and keep lifting back to that starting point. This is where you want to stay. Now I realize this is a very challenging and strengthening posture, so we can always modify with either one or both knees down to start. Now both knees down, you really want to focus on engaging your core so you can still get the benefit, and then work towards straightening into one leg as soon as you can. And then from there, over time, you build from there, and ultimately you straighten both. Now from there, you want to press through those heels. So you want your energy firing out through the heels, and you're in a nice, strong plank position. Now from plank pose, we begin to lower through our Chaturanga push-up. For our Chaturanga, hug your elbows into your side body as you begin to lower until shoulders are in line with the elbows. Now, if you want to modify this, same thing, drop one or both knees down and lower down halfway. Good. Either way from here, we're going to release the tops of the feet, drop the knees and the thighs down, let your hips sink into the mat, and then we'll lift ourselves into Cobra pose. Notice how I'm still hugging my elbows in tightly to my side body, and my gaze is just at the front of the mat so that my neck is a continuation of the spine. Good. Now the other option instead of Cobra is upward facing dog. And you'll see the difference is that my arms are now straight, my legs are straight, and everything except for my palms and the top of the feet are lifted off the mat. From either position here, our next stop is downward facing dog. Tucking your toes and lifting your hips. We'll press up and back as we take a nice deep breath in. Now downward facing dog in Sanskrit is Adho Mukha Svanasana. It's a full body stretch as well as a full body strengthener. So when you first start practicing this pose, it will be a very active and challenging pose. Yet over time, believe it or not, it becomes a resting pose too. So keep breathing, keep moving through it. Now same thing, we're gonna build it from the hands up. Check out those hands, keep them active and strong just like we did in plank. Arms are straight and strong. Send your gaze now down towards your shins or thighs. Good. Now from there, you also want to be pressing your chest back towards your thighs too. But again, with those hamstrings, if we have tight hamstrings, there is no shame in your game to bend those knees as much as you need to take the pressure off. Over time, we'll begin straightening more into the legs, and over time, we'll also be pressing those heels closer and closer down towards the mat. Good. Now from your downward dog, there are two ways to come back to your forward fold. You can either take little baby steps, or you can step one foot and then the other to come back through. And we'll practice that way next. Good. From your forward fold, we'll take a halfway lift, and we'll fold once more. And then with your next breath, we'll reverse swan dive, arms all the way up. And exhale, guiding your hands through heart center. Great job. So that's a lot of work already. Feel free to grab a sip of water, take a break. You can always hit pause on the video. That's the beauty of it being a video. As you're ready now, we're going to take all those poses that we broke down slowly, and we're gonna run ourselves through one whole set of Surya Namaskar A. So we'll do it once on each side of the body. When you're ready, we'll meet where we began in Tadasana, standing mountain pose. So again, feet hip width distance or feet touching. We're gonna round the shoulders back and down. Palms face forward. Take a deep breath in and out. And as we move through the sun salutation, I will also be leading us through linking our breath with our motion. Remembering the small and basic rule of always inhaling for the expansion and exhaling on the contraction. Let's apply that now. From your Tadasana pose, with your inhale breath, we'll take the arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. From there, Swan Dive Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And exhale, palms plant. We're gonna step our left foot back, and then our right foot back, coming into plank. We inhale at the top of our plank pose, engage that core. Exhale, lower down slowly, Chaturanga. Release to the tops of the feet. Cobra pose with your inhale. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. From there, this time we'll practice the step up. So we're gonna take the right foot and we're gonna step it up between the hands. Now, if you're beginning your yoga practice, maybe you can't step that foot all the way up. No problem. Step it up as much as you can and then use your hand to help step it up the rest of the way. From there, your left foot comes to meet it and we'll find our halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands through heart center. Well done. We've got one more side. Here we go. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center this time. Fold it out. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, and this time we'll take the right foot back first, followed by the left. High plank pose, engage the core. Exhale, lower down halfway, Chaturanga. Cobra pose, inhale. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Good. This time we'll take the left foot forward up between the hands, followed by the right foot. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms all the way up and exhaling and pausing here. Or you can fully reset to where we began in Tadasana, mountain pose. So there you have it. That is Surya Namaskar A in a nutshell. So revisit this video as often as you need to, make the modifications you need in your body, and that's the most important thing to remember. Be safe, be kind, and accept where you are in this moment. This is a practice that will continue to grow with you for the rest of your life.